This is Govi's Galaxy Light Projector Pro, but is it any good? If you're unfamiliar with the world of Galaxy Star projectors, these are small devices which aim to create some big ambience by projecting moving light patterns or images over a large surface area in aims of bringing the night sky and other immersive cosmic displays right into your home. Govi's gone a few steps further in their first ever production run for a Galaxy projector by integrating 3 different projectors in one, with not only a disc-based projector, but have also integrated a laser star projector as well as an LED lamp projector. They've also added a sound machine to complete the experience, all smart home compatible and controllable through the Govi app. So, has Govi given us the holy grail of ambience, or have they tried to fit too much into this and not focused enough on one thing? Let's dive in. You can see it has a rotating head here, which is nice. These are the buttons at the top: power, rotation, volume up, down, sound machine mode, or play pause. This right here is a spring-loaded disc loading tray. You can see this is where the discs go. You can pop them out and you can put a new one in. Govi includes 8 different discs that you can load into the tray and pop back in. It can be powered by USB-C, and of course you can use an external battery bank if you wanted to power it as well. Speakers at the back. There are 3 different lasers in here that project to give us our moving stars effect. Once you've powered on your projector, you can focus the projection by turning this ring here. It is a focus ring. And the LED projector is this bottom one right here. For those of you new to Galaxy-based disc projectors, they're meant to be used in complete darkness. On every disc-based projector I've tested, the effect is greatly reduced or lost completely if you have other ambient light sources. This is even true of the $600 DS1 Planetarium projector. So that means shut off all the screens, turn off all the lights, cover your windows or anything putting off light if you plan to use this thing properly. Once you have your disc loaded and lights off projecting your image, you can use that top focus ring to get the center of the image as close to focus as you can. Another note I may add, as someone who's tested and used a lot of these disc-based projectors, is you won't be able to get the image in focus completely, so don't panic, this is to be expected. The projector works by showing a portion of the disc at one time. So as time passes and goes on, the disc rotates to change what you're seeing. As you can see, the projection effect is quite interesting when used under the right conditions and combined with the laser stars. Now, depending on your expectations, if we do start to pixel peep closely, we can see the projected image from the discs. It's not incredibly sharp. However, given most of the discs don't have much going on in the center, I'm led to believe the main thing is to use the laser stars as the primary focus and have the disc projections to be this sort of added touch, the added ambience on the side. This is in opposition to other disc-based Galaxy projectors where the disc is the main focus, having rich imagery and stars on the center of the disc. It's an interesting choice to try to bundle a laser star projector together with a disc-based projector. Typically, disc-based projectors aim for more realism when used in darker environments, whereas traditional laser star projectors aim for more of a background ambience in mixed lighting environments. Nevertheless, as a star projector alone, I was quite surprised to see the Govi Galaxy projector excels with its laser star projection method. The #1 complaint I hear in the comments with other laser star projectors is that the pattern can look too grid-like or uniform. The Govi Galaxy projector here, on the other hand, overcomes this by doing something I've never seen before with its laser star projection. It casts 3 different layers of stars, all moving in a different way. This creates an amazing sense of depth, almost like a 3D effect. This solves the issues of past laser projectors, creating a more randomized, abstract laser star projection. Very, very groovy, if I must say so myself. So moving on to the LED RGBW lamp projector. So this can output and project some colored light, cycling through different effects effects, which alone is definitely cool to use and have. I think Govi's intent was to use this mode to pair together with the laser stars as a different option if you don't want to use the disc-based projection. However, for me, it's a bit of a missed opportunity, as if Govi instead chose to integrate a new take on like an LED nebula pattern like we see with the ever popular Bliss Lights projector, where the LED is mimicking a galaxy, then I think we'd have the best of both worlds here with a laser LED projector instead of Govi relying on the discs for their abstract nebula effect. Okay, so really quickly, this is the interface of the Govi app. So this does come with a noise machine to kind of complete the experience. If we click here, you can see all the included sounds that it does come with, and boy, is it ever a lot. Like, the idea is they want you to use this, I guess, as a night aid or a sleep aid. Deep sea, starry night. Anyways, it's quite impressive how many different soundtracks there are in the Govi app bundled with this thing. And together with the stars, with the projection, with the sound it makes, it really does all sort of come together to create a unique experience that other Galaxy projectors, I'd say, don't do as well as this one. You can also play other music, but I probably would avoid that. It's not the best speaker, that's certainly true, but it's sort of good enough to play these ambient tracks that come bundled with it. So here's the thing. I think Govi's new projector is a largely misunderstood product. It gets a bad rep or review coming from people who are just unfamiliar with planetariums or star projectors. They open it up and try to use all three different projections together, combining them with other ambient lights, and the result is just a total mess. However, if you're able to create the right conditions and use it with the sound machine, it's a product worth considering with the added benefit of Govi's software and smart app ecosystem experience. If you're in the market for a dedicated home planetarium, it would be great to see a side-by-side comparison of all the top available options right now. A video that compares their light output and projection quality in a side-by-side showdown. Lucky for you, I've made just that video. What is the best home planetarium Galaxy star projector? Feeling overwhelmed by all the options out there? Fear not, as we're gonna jump into my results of an in-depth comparison of all the top-rated disc-based Galaxy projectors. As always, prices and deal links are in the description below if you're looking to purchase. If you're new to the channel, this is the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. So we have our four projectors here in front of us: the Sega Flux, the DS-FX, the Pococo projector, and the Orzos projector. These are, in my opinion, the best and most popular, most sold Galaxy disc-based projectors you can purchase off Amazon right now. So I've done dedicated videos on these projectors if you're interested in going more in depth on a particular projector. However, this video is going to focus on just the comparisons that I've done to see how they differ against each other. Let's jump into the tests. We're gonna start off with the Northern Hemisphere Galaxy disc here. This will probably be the best comparison of the video, as it's the most universal disc that is most similar between all the projectors. This allows us a sort of control variable to exemplify the differences between all the projectors. All the tests were shot with the camera settings locked onto a white ceiling, and each projector was set on the floor in the same place. There is a flat lighting fixture on the ceiling you may be able to spot as a bit of a diffused blur area. Chances are you'll probably have a lighting fixture on your ceiling as well, so bear that in mind. Starting with the DS-FX projector. This projector offers only a few disc options currently, and all of their discs are actually chrome discs. Using a chrome disc is a premium advantage, as this means the discs can be much more detailed and pack millions more stars. This will help with the overall
overall realism of the projected image. As well, the disc should never fade, unlike the regular film discs that could potentially be susceptible to fading after many uses. However, the chrome discs will absorb more light, resulting in a dimmer image. As well, all the projections will now be black and white only. The Sega Flux projector features large style discs as well as the addition of a shooting star mechanism. While not quite as detailed as using chrome discs, the Sega Flux has a quite pleasing projection from its super large disc size, the largest of all the projectors. This does offer a more high-end projection with full color and vivid detail, as we'll see later on. The Sega Flux features a large collection of many different disc projection offerings. Moving into the Pococo projector now, perhaps the best budget choice of the bunch. Just like the Sega Flux, the Pococo projector features a vast library of disc offerings. The discs are small, at about the size of a nickel, but it's a solid Planetarium Galaxy projector choice. Interestingly enough, both the Pococo and the Orzos projector discs are backwards compatible, meaning you can buy discs from either manufacturer and they'll work in either projector. As we take a look at the Orzos projector with the same disc used, we can see they're quite similar. However, right off the bat, we can see the projection surface area is much smaller and more condensed. Now, this does make for a bit of a brighter, punchier, and more contrasty image, but I think having a wider surface area projection is more ideal, as we see on the Pococo. As we go back to the side-by-side, you can see the Orzos has the smallest area of coverage when compared to the Pococo with the exact same disc used. For this reason, if you're trying to decide between the Orzos or Pococo, understanding this difference could help to make your decision. Let's dive further into these two projectors to exemplify this difference. Here we have the Moon disc, first on the Pococo projector, now on the Orzos projector. We can see the image is now covering a smaller area and the light is not spreading as evenly. In this disc, we can even see that there is now a bit of a light hotspot on the Orzos projector. Here's the side-by-side now, where we can see the image is much larger on the Pococo and there isn't any of that hot spotting. I'd likely lean towards the Pococo with the larger, more even surface area light coverage rather than the smaller, albeit a bit brighter area of coverage on the Orzos projector, whereas the light is being more condensed to a smaller area in more of a spotlight effect. There also seems to be a bit of lens blur on the Orzos projector, kind of near the center of the image, and we really shouldn't be seeing any of this. You can see on the Pococo, it is still nice and sharp and clear in this same area. Let's add the DSFX into the mix now, as they also offer a similarly themed Moon disc. I do really like this disc personally. Again, given the chrome disc type, we can really see that detail start to come through in the clarity of the moon and the vast amount of stars it offers. It definitely offers a certain richness to it. Although, like I had mentioned earlier, we do compromise on the amount of light output using a chrome disc, resulting in a dimmer image. We'll flash back now to the Moon discs on the Pococo and Orzos for comparison. And now we'll look at the side-by-side between all three, and now just between the Pococo and the DSFX to try to get an even better sense of the differences between the two. I wish the Sega Flux has a comparable disc I could have thrown into the mix here, which they may make. I haven't actually checked, I just don't have one in my collection. Okay, so we'll move on to some funkier discs now, and I'll throw in two examples from the Sega Flux. First, a Cosmic Galaxy type disc, and secondly, a Solar System disc. These are two really great examples of the potential and strengths of the Sega Flux with its bright output and vivid colors when it has the right disc. Now moving into the DSFX with a Saturn planet disc. Again, a nice detailed image. However, we are constricted, as I've mentioned, to the black and white medium of the chrome disc. Lastly, we have a large colored Saturn disc on the Pococo projector. Here's the side-by-side of all these discs to take a look at, and we can start to see why potentially the Sega Flux is the most premium projector of the bunch. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best one for you. The DSFX is certainly an interesting choice with its chrome discs, as I've highlighted the advantages and disadvantages, and the Pococo and Orzos being the best budget options for a disc-based projector that can certainly compete. When choosing, I tried to figure out which style you like the best and which discs you're going to want to use to help you make your choice. Here's a bonus comparison comparing the Bakoko and Orzos of one of my personal favorites, the Jellyfish disc. Again, as we move from the same disc on the Bakoko to the Orzos, we really see again that difference in projection from the two projectors. The Orzos has a more spotlight projection style and the Bakoko a more even, wider light distribution in its projection. Just for fun, the Sega Flux system also has a Jellyfish disc among a ton of other options. And lastly, here's a side-by-side of the two Jellyfish discs from the Bakoko and the Sega Flux. Which one do you think you like better? I hope that helps to make a decision on which projector you think is the best for you. If you're considering buying any of these, make sure to check the prices and deal links in the description. Using these links help to support the channel and allow me to keep making detailed reviews and comparisons like these.
Okay, so all these results are great, but perhaps what you're really looking for is a laser-based Galaxy projector. Laser-based projectors are a great tool to use for mood setting, and unlike disc-based Galaxy projectors, they're usually brighter and more stylistic, meaning they can be combined with other mood-setting lights if that's what you're looking for.
I bought every popular Galaxy Star projector on Amazon to figure out what is the best Galaxy Star projector on the market today.
Welcome to this installation of the best Laser Star Projector Showdown. So for anyone new to these viral laser projectors, they're actually a pretty awesome piece of tech. For a relatively low cost and even lower effort, you can bring some pretty epic mood and ambience, which is why I personally love these things and have been reviewing them every year. The market has been flooded by all different models, shapes, and sizes. Today I'm comparing the Smart Star projector, the Astronaut projector, the Rosetta projector, what I like to call the Bat Wheels projector, because it kind of looks a bit like a Batmobile. The classic UFO style projector, as I like to call it. Lastly, we have the Bliss Lights Evolve.
All right, so let's just jump right in here to the screen I'm gonna use here for the technical comparison and side-by-sides. So first things first, we're gonna quickly flash through every projector in its default full color mode to get a feel for each projector. The camera settings remained locked throughout to showcase the differences in lighting. So here's the side-by-side now of all the projectors in their sort of default full color mode. I put the UFO projector on red and blue since it can't display 3 colors at a time like all the rest of the projectors. You'll also notice the stars are static on the Astronaut and UFO projector, and they fade in and out on the Rosetta and Bat Wheels projector, as sadly these are the only options available. I will go into each projector more in depth in just a moment where I showcase each projector in more of a practical scenario, but this first side-by-side comparison should start to give you a feel for the character of each of these projectors and how their patterns differ from style to coverage and brightness. While each of these projectors give you a red, green, blue, and or white LED to mix together and select your favorite color, I'll be sticking to using just the red and blue magenta LED setting from this point on in the review. By setting the projector to this red and blue magenta color provides a consistent baseline for the comparison, but mainly also because I feel this is most definitely the most pleasing color combo aesthetically for every Galaxy projector I've tested. So looking at these side-by-sides now all in the same color, we can start to see the characteristics more clearly in how each projector functions. The Rosetta has this sort of wavy effect, whereas the Bat Wheels has this swirling nebula. The Bliss Lights having this somewhat cloudy, like smoky intricacy, perhaps the closest to an actual nebula formation. The UFO projector having the widest coverage and somewhat mimicking almost like a top of the water effect, whereas the Astronaut has the smallest nebula in sort of this splatter formation. The Smart Star definitely has a bit of a yin-yang thing going on. Anyhow, feel free to reference back to this chart at any time in the video, but let's move on to taking a closer look at each projector now in more detail, as well as their effect in a more practical environment pointing at the ceiling of my studio space.
Okay, let's start off talking about the Smart Star projector. It is a smart projector, unlike some of the others here, which means you can control it with an app to set custom colors, set the brightness of the lasers, turn them on, off, different effects, stuff like that. I have covered this projector in depth. I've done a dedicated video on it. This is kind of our top of the line star projector that we're used to and is a good place to start. With the little feet on the bottom, you can sort of, go more upwards if you want to shoot it at your ceiling and just aim it like so. The laser stars do have 3 modes: rotate, static, or fading, as well as being able to sort of fine tune that brightness. The LED nebula also rotates, or you can set it to static, having all red, green, and blue LEDs to sort of get to any color you want, or my favorite, to just turn on the red and blue to kind of make a magenta color. Because it is a Smart Star projector, you can also automate it into your smart home. In terms of power input, we have a 5-volt DC in, which it comes chipped with a cable to a USB-A. So if you did want to run it on battery, you could do so using an external battery bank. Moving forward into the beloved astronaut projector. This is quickly becoming a fan favorite and is a very popular unit. It features a sort of like astronaut body here, whereas a little power pack on the back has the power input as well as some buttons. So not only does the astronaut projector look pretty cool, it's actually designed pretty well. It's got this sort of magnetic head on the top, which all the projection comes from, the lasers coming out of this part and the nebula coming out of the middle part. And because it's got this spherical head, project it, aim it anywhere you want. So in terms of the laser star output on this thing, it has a rather wide area of coverage. It is one of the widest that I've tested, so the stars go everywhere and they are more spaced apart. Some of the downside though is that the stars are only static. They don't rotate. They can fade, but that's the only 2 options you get when it comes to the stars. I do like that wide coverage though. The RGB LED nebula does rotate, however, although you'll see it does cover a smaller surface area, and I've had a couple of these units. Sometimes I find the nebula rotation to have a bit of a jitter when it comes to sort of the end of the disc inside. I don't know what's happening. Some people don't report this problem at all. I have seen it. It's not a huge deal, but it does tend to jitter sometimes. In terms of any smart capabilities or automating it, there's nothing like that. It is pretty primitive. It does come with a remote and it has sort of the on-off buttons on the back. But if you did want to use like a smart outlet or something, you can't do it because every time you turn it on, you have to click the button. Okay, moving on to our Rosetta projector here. It's an interesting looking projector, I might say. It's kind of hard to aim it. You don't get much flexibility with that, but the idea is they want you to project it sort of upwards only. It also does have a speaker in it. I'm not a huge fan of why they waste money on putting speakers in these things because they're never any good, and you probably don't want to pay extra money for a crappy speaker, so just leave the speaker out. So this projector has a really interesting projection pattern. It's sort of like a wavy pattern. I don't know if you can see that in the aperture. It's got this sort of wavy effect, but it is a rather unique effect that the nebula pattern is this sort of wavy effect that does cover a large surface area. In terms of the colors, it has a red, green, blue, and white LED, which makes for some interesting options. The one sort of catch I found is that you can only have 3 LEDs on at once. So you can choose the white, blue, and red, or you can have just 2. It also can cycle through some different effects, which is cool. In terms of the laser stars, now, one of the downsides was it only was able to have a fade in and out. There was no full-time laser stars. So if laser stars are your priority, perhaps not this one because it's only gonna have that fading in and out option. They don't rotate or anything either. It does also come with a remote control to control it. However, there is no smart functionality or anything like that. And if you think you can pair it with a smart outlet, think again, because just like we saw with the astronaut projector, once it takes power or removes power, you have to physically press the on button to turn it on. Moving forward to the projector, I've nicknamed the Bat Wheels because it kind of resembles like a little Batmobile. This is a really interesting projector. The design's super cool. This little base it has, kind of where the head sits. Point it wherever you'd like it to be. Again, USB-C, kind of the standard 5-volt USB-C on all these projectors. Like the rest, you can power it with a USB battery bank on battery if you'd like. It does, again, have a little speaker in it. It's actually quite similar to the Rosetta projector in terms of its functionality. However, this one gives us like a swirly nebula effect. You can kind of see that in the refraction glass lens on the top there. So yeah, really, really cool nebula effect if you're into the sort of swirling nebula. Again, just like the Rosetta, it has a red, green, blue, and white LED, but you can only choose 3 LEDs to use at once for that. In terms of the laser star output, we can see the little laser aperture at the top. Again, similarly to the Rosetta projector, it only can do this fading in and out mode. So I don't personally love that. I'd rather have the stars on full time. Rotating is a nice bonus. But yeah, only fades in and out. It does come with a remote, but it is not smart capable in any way. Very similar, both these two. Different sort of LED nebula projections, different kind of base. Okay, moving on to what I call the UFO projector, for obvious reasons. Kind of looks like a UFO in the classic sense. We have some buttons here on the side. This also has a built-in speaker and does a ton of different things. Hard switch on and off. So the UFO projector has a very wide coverage for its LED nebula. And again, another unique, interesting nebula effect. We've seen the sort of wavy effect. We've seen the swirly effect. This one kind of makes like a diamond-shaped pattern. You can see from its sort of diffraction glass lens at the top here. And because it's this spherical lens that really is extruding, it does project all over your room. So if you're looking something quite wide, it does project all over the room. However, you're gonna wanna try to place it in the center of the room because again, it's pretty hard to aim or angle in any way. It just sort of sits flat. In terms of functionality on the laser stars, it can do a static mode or it can fade in and out, such as we see with the Rosetta bat wheels. Would be nice to see some rotation in there. You can, of course, again, power it with a USB battery bank if you want. Comes with a remote. So the nebula colors, it also has a red, green, blue, and white LED, such as we see in these ones. However, this one can only do 2 of the LED colors at one time. So you can select any of the 4, but you can only run 2 at once. So blue and red or blue and white, whatever combo, but just 2 of them. Unlike these ones where you can run up to 3 of the 4 LEDs at once. Okay, so this is the BlissLights Evolve projector. BlissLights has come out with a ton of different models and variations of the projector. This one in particular is called the Evolve. As you can see, the base, again, we see that sort of spherical design, which really allows us to point and aim this anywhere we please. It is a smart projector, meaning it does have an app to use to control it. Like all the rest, it is a 5-volt input where we can use an external battery bank to power it if we want. The LED nebula is quite cool. It features a red, cyan, blue, and white LED. So we can use a combination of these 4 LEDs to create a really unique color. The stars can both rotate. You can control the speed of the star rotation and the nebula rotation, as well as the stars are able to do sort of static or a fading effect. This is, I'd say, the most feature-packed of these star projectors. Similarly to the Smart Star projector, this one's a bit of a newer take on it and really kind of follows the overall BlissLights feel if you've seen me review some of their other projectors. So because it is smart, it will allow you to sort of automate it and integrate it into your smart home, or if you want to plug it into a smart outlet, it will remember the last used setting, which is in my mind a great feature to have.
There's no one projector that stands out as a clear winner per se. It really just comes down to your personal preference and the logistics of your space. The 2 most advanced projectors I'd say are the Smart Star and the BlissLights Evolve, with their app functionality and a bit of a higher end experience and feel. The UFO projector is a great option with tons of colors, functionality, and does have the widest nebula coverage if you can find a spot for it in the middle of your room. The Rosetta and bat wheels have super unique looking nebulas. However, the fading stars may be a deal breaker depending on your preference. The astronaut projector makes a cool collectible for your shelf in addition to its functionality having the absolute widest laser star coverage, although ironically having the smallest of the nebulas. Might I even suggest pairing two of these projectors together, like the astronaut for its amazing star coverage, with the Batwheels or Rosetta or one of the other projectors for their unique nebulas. Would definitely love to hear everyone else's thoughts and preferences based on these tests in the comments below.
I personally purchased all these projectors myself, so there was absolutely no influence going on with the results. All opinions are my own. I've tried to remain as unbiased as possible, giving you guys just the facts. So, how does the $100 Dark Skies DS-FX Galaxy projector stand up to the mega-priced $600 DS1 Galaxy projector? The DS-FX Home Planetarium is the latest addition to the Dark Skies product lineup. It's a simple, well-designed projector ideal for first-time home planetarium owners with functionality, portability, and budget in mind. It stands out for its attention to detail, ease of use, and performance. As always, click those links in the description to support the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. All right, let's jump in. The body is compact with a sleek and modern appearance reminiscent to that of a Star Wars droid, complete with orange grippy feet at the bottom. Definitely a futuristic and stylish look that'll fit in well with various interior settings. The unit features a top head that rotates side to side to aim your projection at your wall or ceiling, along with the lens focusing ring for adjusting the clarity and sharpness of those star projections. So here's the disc loading tray. As we can see, it's got a fairly nice, easy load and unload mechanism. The front button is a power on off. The next button is the rotation to turn on or off. The next button is the timers if you want to set a sleep timer for it to shut off after a certain amount of time. We also have a USB-C power port to charge up the internal battery, meaning you can bring this on the go or move it around the room without having to worry about keeping a cable plugged in. What makes the Dark Skies projectors unique is the utilization of a chrome disc. This ensures long-term quality as opposed to the regular film-based discs that you'll see on other projectors. Could fade after some use, whereas the chrome will not. So let's check it out and see how it does.
Starting off with an exposure boosted shot to give you a sense of where the projector placement and where the camera capturing is. So you will need a pitch black room to get this to work. I'm pointing the projector at a flat ceiling with a light fixture in the middle. Right now we're looking at the Northern Hemisphere chrome disc, a quite impressive night sky projection. Flipping to the moon disc now, which is a similar disc, a little bit darker, with of course the moon. Moving into the stormy night disc, really love the moon imagery in these discs. A bit more of a dramatic scene, if that's your style. Here's the DS-FX now in my bathroom, as I can get it very dark in here, and I find, given the small space, the reflections from all the glass, I seem to always get a really neat effect when I use a Galaxy projector in the bathroom here.
You can also purchase a few additional discs for the FX unit, but they also make a disc called the ADM module, and this adds a bit of sparkling effect by adding a little like filter over the disc to have light poke through. It's pretty neat, the effect. So Dark Skies is the same company that produced the $600 DS1 Planetarium, previously featured on the channel. So just for comparison, these are the DS1 discs. You can see the large size difference of a DS1 disc versus a DS-FX disc.
We're gonna start with the Northern Hemisphere disc. That is the default disc both of the projectors ship with. Both of these are chrome discs. The DS1 boasts a 4.1 million star count on its chrome disc, whereas we move into the DS-FX, boasting an impressive 3.1 million star count on its chrome disc. It's hard to imagine how they fit so many stars on the DS-FX disc. As we just saw a moment ago, the disc is less than half the size of the DS1 disc. So here's the side-by-side comparison now of both discs. I should mention that the Northern Hemisphere chrome discs do absorb a lot of light from the projector, so you will need a pitch black room to use these projectors ideally, and this disc specifically. I was actually quite impressed with how the DSFX held up on these two discs, but I'd still say the DS1 has the edge, being more realistic, as well as having that shooting star function is a really nice addition. Okay, we're gonna move into the Stormy Night disc now, another disc that is available on both projectors. Starting with the DSFX, which again, the scene is printed on a chrome disc, which limits us to this sort of monochromatic black and white style projection. Versus the DS1 Stormy Night disc, we can see the DS1 really starts to come to life as the disc does add in a bit of color on the sides and has a really sort of dramatic scene going on. And now the side-by-side shot for reference. The advantage of that chrome disc is a really nice and crisp image. I should mention the way these projectors work, if you're not already familiar, is that the projectors are only showing a portion of the disc at one time. So say if you have that rotation feature on, from 1 minute to the next, the scene is gonna look different. Okay, let's move on to some planets now. The DS1 has a vast array of colorful discs to play with, but we can really see the huge ticket price starting to shine through with its vivid scene options. This disc is one of my favorites. It's called Logarithmic Universe. Flipping back to the DSFX, there is a Saturn planet disc, which is quite cool, and I thought I'd throw it in for comparison. I'm sure they'll come out with more discs for the DSFX, but if we flip back to the DS1, they do make a really cool Saturn disc as well. It's also one of my favorites given the somewhat abstract nature of the disc, as if you're in some sort of foreign environment looking into the night sky. Here's the side-by-side now of both Saturn discs together. You'll see the DS1 is much brighter in practice when using its regular non-chrome based discs, whereas the DSFX is all chrome based discs, absorbing more light and outputting a dimmer image. Anyhow, I hope this does help to give a sense of what a projector at nearly 6 times the price gets you when compared to the DSFX.
The DSFX Home Planetarium by Dark Skies is a versatile, portable, and user-friendly projector that brings the beauty of the night sky into your home. It holds up as a great budget option when compared to Dark Sky's flagship model, the DS1. This unique item is a must-have for your desk setup. Transform your space into a portal of infinite light and creativity with the Hypercube Nano, a mesmerizing gadget that brings art, technology, and music to life right before your eyes. Now, I've covered the Hypercubes on the channel before, going in depth on their uncanny ability to transform a space into a multi-dimensional art installation, lighting up your entire room. In fact, the large format cubes are still one of the most asked about products that I get in my comments. However, given the price tag for those original large size cubes, they might have just been a little bit out of reach of the average viewer. Until now, that is. This is where the Hypercube Nano comes in, a smaller, more affordable version that doesn't skimp on the immersive experience. It's designed to bring the same level of chromatic art and interactivity into your space or desk setup, making it accessible to a wider audience who are eager to add a touch of futuristic flair to their environment without breaking the bank. And if you're considering purchasing, make sure to use the deal links and coupon code in the description below. That is the coupon code that is native to this channel. I've worked out a deal with the company to get a little bit extra off, so make sure you use those links in the description to get the best price. Welcome everybody to the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. Boom! Let's unbox. So we're looking like have the Hypercube controller, Ethernet into one side, USB-C into the other, button on the top. Boom, there's the Hypercube Nano stand. And there she is, tucked in there. Oh yeah. Boom, there we go. And then it sits on the base. And then if you can see, there is a little gap in the base right there. So it can indeed sit flat. And you hide it. So So we have what looks like the Wi-Fi receiver and controller, Ethernet into there, USB-C power into this control box. Now for the fun part. Okay, there it goes. Wow, just wow. You know, these cubes really are super mesmerizing. Just don't have enough good things to say about them. I really don't have the words to use to find. This is the perfect size for a desk. Absolutely beautiful. From every angle, infinite dimensions of light. The Hypercube Nano features all the same functionality as the larger size cubes, coming now in a smaller 6-inch package. Constructed with scratch-resistant acrylic mirrors and now powered by a USB-C cable, the Hypercube Nano is designed for durability and easy portability. Take it with you, show it off, plug it into a USB power bank if you want. The device's versatility extends beyond its visual appeal. With the Hyperspace app, users can control the color, speed, symmetry, and more, fine-tuning and tailoring the light display to their personal preferences. With the sound reactivity mode, the Hypercube Nano adapts to your mood and setting, turning music and sound into a quite amazing little visual experience. Okay, as you can see, we got the cubes reacting to my voice. If you have multiple cubes, nano or the regular sized ones, you can sync them all together in Unity, which is a pretty cool little light display. Say if you're having a party or whatever, you have a ton of these things around. It's super awesome to see them all vibing out to the music. Another really cool option I do highly appreciate is the ability to power on the cubes from a smart outlet if you did want to automate or integrate them into your voice-controlled smart home setup. So I'm gonna plug both cubes on top of the speakers into this smart outlet right here. Computer, turn on Hypercubes. The Hypercube Nano's design and functionality have made it a must-have for adding style and creativity to any space. They look particularly good in a desk setup or creative space, with its ability to produce a wide range of vibrant colors and patterns from its high-quality LEDs ensures a lasting impact, making it an excellent investment for enhancing your home decor for years to come. In summary, the Hypercube Nano is more than just a decorative item. It's an immersive experience that combines art, technology, and personal expression. Whether you're seeking to elevate your home ambience, create an engaging atmosphere for gatherings, creative endeavors, or simply just enjoy owning a unique art piece, the Hypercube Nano offers endless possibilities for exploration and enjoyment at a now affordable price tag compared to its older, bigger siblings. Looking for a floor lamp to elevate your space? Look no further than Govi's lineup of smart floor lamps, packed with a ton of features and cutting-edge aesthetics. In this video, we'll break down and compare each one of Govi's floor lamps to help you decide which is the best choice for your space. Welcome everybody to the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. As always, click those product links in the description for the best deals and latest finds. So we have here today the Govi Floor Lamp Pro, the Govi Floor Lamp 2, Govi Floor Lamp Basic, and the Govi Cylinder Lamp. I'm going to break down my comparison into three main categories: design, light output, and special features. Let's start with the design, shall we? All the lamps share a fairly minimal aesthetic, easily fitting into any modern day home design. Starting with the Floor Lamp Pro, the most expensive of the bunch. It's the tallest, spanning a whopping 5 foot 8 inches from the ground, or 1.7 meters. And it's available in a matted silver finish, as we see here today, or a black finish. Its sleek metal arm, as you'll notice, is also the thickest of the bunch. It also has the largest base with a fabric finish, due in part because the Pro model also contains a fully functional Bluetooth speaker. But more on this later. We can see the base also has this sort of bottom underlighting that seamlessly wraps around the entire bottom of the unit. Govee is touting this as their most premium model, and in my experience, when building all of these lamps here, the Pro model also seemed to be the most robust from a materials standpoint. I should also mention the arm can rotate in place to a max of 300 degrees for easier placement of the light's direction. Point it anywhere, any which way. Okay, moving on to the Floor Lamp 2. It's the second generation model from the original Govee Lyra lamp. We see a similar design to the Floor Lamp Pro in a smaller footprint, coming in at a more standardized size in terms of height and arm thickness, standing at 5 feet tall or 1.5 meters from the ground up. The lamp is available in either a black or silver color. Depending on the color you choose, we can observe this gradient-like finish on the bottom of the light base here, transitioning from the lamp color to sort of a transparent color. We can see there's a light inside wrapping around the entire bottom of the unit. Now, if you do enjoy these armed style of lamps and are looking for a budget option, Govee has the perfect solution with their Floor Lamp Basic model, as we can see here. It's a light bar style lamp similar to the first two in an even more condensed form factor. Its height comes in at 4.5 feet or 1.4 meters from the ground up, and we can see the arm itself is even thinner once again than the first two. This lamp features a small circular flat plate base with a small footprint at about 8 inches wide. Lastly, we have the Govee cylinder lamp. Now, I've had the Govee cylinder lamp for quite a while now, and I've absolutely loved it. If you prefer this style of lamp, I've made a fully dedicated video that showcases its design and features. But I thought I'd include it here in the mix today for a bit of variety. As we can see, this lamp has a robust circular base, about 1 inch thick and about 10 inches wide. The base supports an arm leading up to a cylindrical head, measuring at about 5 foot 8 inches high off the ground. The cylinder light at the top wraps a full 360 degrees of light coverage. The pixels within the cylinder lamp allow it to almost function like a very simple screen with its many unique scene modes and effects. Okay, so we're gonna move on now and jump into the light output. Now, with all the light bar lamps, they are intended to be used in a manner where the light strip is pointed at and illuminating a wall or corner, effectively bouncing the light off of a surface, creating a nice soft glow. This is the sort of functional approach they were designed for. Alternatively, you could choose to be a rebel and turn the light backwards, exposing and intentionally viewing the diffused light bar itself like a neon strip, thus using the lights in more of a decorative manner or stylistic approach. As you probably suspect, the Floor Lamp Pro is the brightest of the bunch with a rated
2100
lumen brightness output, LED beads closely packed together at around 1 centimeter apart for a very seamlessly smooth light output. The Floor Lamp 2 comes in similarly at a 725 lumen brightness rating. When we move on to the basic model here, we do get a small drop in rated light output at around 1000 lumens. I do notice the light beads do seem to be less dense and more spaced out than the two upper models, as we can start to see some gaps in the light if you look directly at the strip on dimmer setting. Of course, this is somewhat of an insignificant detail if you plan to use the light as intended and bounce the light off a surface or a wall. The cylinder lamp comes in at a 1500 lumen output, able to throw the light all directions. Right now I have it dimmed quite a bit, but given its cylindrical style, I will say this. It actually feels like the brightest lamp of the bunch due to the fact it's more evenly throwing the light from all angles.
From the side-by-side lighting tests, we can see the white light mode on the Lamp Pro and Lamp 2 are pretty similar in output in both the warm and cool color temperatures, with the basic model falling behind in terms of capability in that cool color range.
All of the lights are capable of displaying a full spectrum of color, which I think is what makes these lamps super fun. It's all about experimenting with different modes, mixing and matching the placement of the lights, and combining different colors to elevate the character or mood of a given environment.
When it comes to the color modes, the Pro model significantly pulls ahead in terms of brightness and accuracy. A consideration to make if you do plan to use the lamp primarily for its colored lighting and scene modes.
If you're new to Govee products, there's a ton of lighting effects and features that typically come bundled with the lights. And in fact, this is something that I think is special to Govee specifically. That is, their ecosystem of lighting products all have a cohesive, universal feel that is unique, fun, and versatile when it comes to the functionality and user experience of their products. So with that said, it's not just solid colors the lamp can do. There's plenty of preset scene modes you can experiment with, all well categorized. These are especially fun in the cylinder lamp with its pseudo screen-like display that you can view a lot more of in my dedicated cylinder lamp video if you want to go and check that out. On top of coming with tons of preset scene modes, Govee products come with multiple sound reactivity modes to play with if you're into your music, visualization, or your lights pulsating. In addition to this, the lights can be grouped together and synced up with Govee's Dream View. Dream View allows all your Govee lights to work together in unison to showcase different scene modes, music modes, or even match the colors on a TV screen while gaming or watching a movie. You can think of Dream View somewhat like the equivalent of surround sound, but for lights, where all the lights come together in different forms and placements to create this unified visual experience. Pretty cool, if I must say so myself, to really watch a movie this way or build out your entire space all synced up together. We're going to move forward into some of the special features or unique distinctions of each of the lamps, starting off with the physical controls. Now, in addition to being fully smart compatible through the Govee app and integrations with Alexa or Google Home, both the Floor Lamp Pro and the Floor Lamp 2 are now Matter compatible. They also come with a physical remote control if that's something you prefer. Here those remote controls are now. These remotes can also magnetically attach to the lamp arm through an included remote holder adapter. Just stick it on the light, and now the remote magnetically attaches to the light. However, on the basic model, we just have a simple physical on-off button that's attached at the bottom to the power cord. Off, on. And on the cylinder lamp, there is a button you can see right here. That is, again, an on-off button. Always nice to have that as well. Okay, so speaking of unique features, perhaps the most unique feature of the bunch is the inclusion of a Bluetooth speaker in the base of the Pro model here. This opens up a few other use cases now that Govee has included, such as a sound or sleep machine with built-in soundscapes and white noise modes. Here are some of the presets. Aside from that, you can absolutely connect to this just like you would a regular Bluetooth speaker to play your music from. Want the ability to block out light with a stylized, motorized window shade at an affordable price? If you're like me and also want the ability to command, make automations, and integrate the shades into your smart home setup, then I think I found the perfect solution from a brand called SmartWings. For the longest time, I've wanted to fully control the lighting in my space, as every time I've wanted to create content, I've literally had to wait till the sun goes down to shoot any footage. Until now, that is. For example, right now, it's the middle of the day, yet it looks like nighttime. Let me open up the curtains and show you what it looks like. If I didn't have these, I wouldn't be able to get this same shot. And this is what it looks like with the smart shades fully open and all the window light coming inside. Smart shades up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This is the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. All right, so my favorite parts about the smart shades from Smart Wings is they offer a huge amount of options in terms of style, functionality, and customizability. They offer both blackout shades and non-blackout privacy shades in an array of different patterns, colors, and materials. They really do offer a ton of options, as you can see here on the website. For my space, I went with the Cellular Noah pattern, it's called, in single cell in the dark gray color. Beyond that, you get to order your shades in the exact custom sizing you need for your door or window covering. And everything is easily controllable from a programmable remote. However, if you do want to integrate your shades into your smart home or voice control them, you can actually choose which smart motor type you want depending on the home system you have. I went with the matter over thread option to offer the most versatility and future compatibility. I also recommend buying the solar panels to trickle charge your motors every day for an easy power solution as opposed to running a long USB cable. But hey, if you want to do that, the option is provided in the box. Okay, the day has come. We're installing our Smart Wings onto the windows. My plan here is to install on this sort of overhang ledge here. Okay, you can see it goes all the way across. All right, I do really love that Smart Wings allows you to fully customize the sizing and lengths that you're gonna need. Solar panel, mounting screws. Okay, so this one's for the sliding door. The box was actually labeled. You make that room label when you order based on the measurements, so you know which is which and where it goes. I'm told you will need at least one remote to program your Smart Wings. Of course, they're smart home compatible. This is the whole point, and integrate them into your smart home for automations and voice control and such. The remote control comes with a wall mount too, if you wanted to wall mount that like a control on the wall. There's a few different remote options. I went with this simple one here. What I do really like is this mounting bracket because it allows me to go either mount it from the top or underneath, and then they just sort of clip in at an angle like that, and then you can sort of fine tune it and slide it around. So that's gonna allow me to sort of slide the whole unit to really get it into the perfect place. They actually put stickers on the unit itself for the recommended mounting spots where these mounting brackets should go. When you're building out your unit on the website, there's a ton of customizations, obviously. I've gone with a dark gray color, and you can of course choose which side you want your motor to go on. See, just the USB cable plugs into there, charge up the battery, or to go to the solar panel. And so the plan is to take this, and this one's gonna be mounted on the far left side of the windows. Smart Wings makes the install process easy from their end. Since I was installing this alone, I first taped up the mounts before drilling them in. I'd say the trickiest part of the whole process is to just make sure the mounts are aligned well enough to fully hook into the top of the shades. Once the shades were all up, I programmed the remote using the instruction guide and labeled it as follows. Channel 1 being all of the shades, and then each of the shades on their own channel if I wanted to individually control one, let's say. In terms of connecting into my smart home, I chose the Matter over Thread smart motor, as Matter over Thread is fully compatible with all the smart home systems and is controllable over your local network without the need for a native app. This meant I did now, however, need a Thread border router since I didn't currently have one, so I went with an Amazon Echo device with Thread inbuilt. Now I can start further building out my Matter over Thread network and devices for the future. So here's the final curtains now installed. I really like the way they look from the style and color I chose, as well as being able to automate them, opening and closing at certain times of the day or through voice commands. Computer, close shades.
Open,
Closed.
open,
Closed.
open,
Closed.
Open.
Closed.
Computer, everything off. Okay, as you can see, it's almost pure darkness in here. There's a tiny bit of light leaks from the gaps between each segment of the shades, but in any practical sense, it's pretty much eliminated all the light that would cause me trouble in any sort of application, such as, watching a projector, having to film, or sleeping. Pretty much all the light is removed. Let's open it back up. And there you have it, the windows are fully back up. We have all this light once again pouring into the space. As for power, I'm also super impressed with how good the solar panels are. My balcony doesn't get any direct sunlight, and yet the shades charge for several hours throughout the day just from the balanced ambient light coming through the window. So I'm super happy to now be able to fully control the lighting in my space and be able to film throughout the daytime if I need, or even block out the bright ambient light coming in from outside in the night for a darker sleep environment, or let's say if I'm using one of my video projectors or home planetariums.
Transform your setup into a battleground with Govi's latest creation. Govi has released a special edition lighting kit based on the cyber stylings and futuristic motifs of acclaimed sci-fi series Neon Genesis Evangelion. Let's dig in and see how these lights can elevate the ambience of your space with their unique design and stunning effects. As always, deal links and chapter time codes are listed in the description below.
Boom! That's one. Boom! And there's number two. Boom! And there's number three. Included in this special edition kit are light bars, interchangeable wall lights, and Y lights. There's box numero uno. Look at this caution tape we got here. Quite the unboxing experience. Sort of like this holographic 3D styling, magnetic pullback going on. Oh yeah, Govi, Evangelion, top secret information. What do we got in this little pamphlet here? We got this sort of top secret card here. QR code can be only activated once. Scan to activate special lighting effects. So we're looking at box number one. I gotta say, the attention to detail in the packaging inside, it really sort of sets the stage for what's to come. Wow. Wow, everything's super detailed. These little connector parts right here. Unboxing experience like no other so far. Box number two, these are the gaming light bars, that iconic green and purple. Got again, same little booklet that came in box one. Very, very cool. Check that out, check that one out. I love how they have this like door opening. Look at these bad boys. That's pretty cool. Really liking the green and purple theme going on here. So this box isn't branded, but I'm to understand these are also a new product from Govi. It looks like it goes with the set. Geometric pattern decals on there. Okay, here we go, here we go. Whoa, these are probably the coolest Govi wall lights I've seen. This is Govi Cybernetics there at the corner. Just magnetically kind of clips on there. Very nice.
Alrighty, let's assemble and power on all the lights for a closer look and comparison, starting with the gaming light bars.
The gaming light bars come with this really cool base piece, which allows you to essentially change the settings, control the brightness, color, or cycle through different modes. You can use them for their front-facing pattern light diffusion, or you can use them as they're meant to be used, pointed at a wall to light up a wall. They also have a sound reactivity mode, which you can actually use the included audio adapter to plug your audio signal into the light bars directly.
Moving on to the Y lights now. Included in the kit is 5 pieces, which allows you to customize and build out your pattern. They connect together with the included connectors. One side slides in, the other snaps into place. But you can most definitely expand and connect more with extension pieces if you want to buy them. They look really nice with both diffused backlighting and defined front lighting to go along with their futuristic purple paint job. Lastly, we have what I like to call the Cyber Lights, which I unboxed as both the EVA branded version as well as the unbranded version. The main differences with the EVA edition being the purple-themed front designs and decals, as well as coming with 6 pieces versus 3, and of course the EVA-specific scene modes, which I'll showcase a bit later. However, these are indeed both the same lights at their core, expandable and interchangeable with each other. Similar to the Y lights, they snap together with the included connectors, allowing you to customize and build out your pattern once again. The lights are quite intricate in their design with a mesmerizing effect, definitely pushing the limits of futuristic cyber lighting style in a ready-to-go lighting kit.
Okay, so to get the special Evangelion scene effects, you go to the little settings box up here, hit scan QR code, then you're gonna scan your unique QR code they included with the package. You're gonna hit register, you'll have this screen pop up, and now under scene mode, you'll recognize a new category with all these special effects. Angel Attack, AT Field, Berserk, Synchro, Departure, EVA Theme 0, EVA Theme 1, EVA Theme 2. Okay, so here we have all 3 different lights now connected and turned on, each displaying one of these special lighting effects that come included with the Evangelion Special Edition pack. We see these hex panels, which have this really nice sort of front lighting here, but they also have diffused back lighting to light up the back of your wall or wherever you're gonna put them. We have the light bars, really nice if you wanna have them front facing or if you want to face them against a wall to bounce the light and use them for gaming or sound. As we move into perhaps my favorite of the 3 new lights we see here is the cyber lights with the detachable sort of transparent faceplate. They are super cool, super unique, something I haven't seen from Govee yet. We can see we have the actual pattern on the light lighting up, as well as this sort of neon looking strip on the front as well. Really cool idea. Really like to see Govee innovating here. Even the connector piece here lights up to match everything. Really, really cool. Really like to see that. Really like all the fine details they put in these lights. So with these lights, you can absolutely build out and customize your pattern. I just wanted to show them all side by side. Now I'm going to try to find a spot for them and add them into the space. The Govee Evangelion lights are packed with inspiration from the series that make up its unique design stylings, where the elevated L-shaped lighting strips add that futuristic and technological vibe. The purple and green color scheme is a classic one that I constantly use and love, and is also a nod to the show's theme and colors. The craftsmanship here is really top notch, guys. They use a special in-molding label printing process, I'm told, to create these sort of intricate surface textures. The dual layered construction is futuristic and stylish, with dynamic backlighting and an elevated strip of diffused light. This gives the lighting a 3-dimensional effect that looks amazing from any angle. It's something special that I haven't personally seen before, but pretty cool that they took something and they collabed on it, and I feel can fit anyone wanting to add some futuristic flair or cyberpunk type stylings. The design details, customization options, and stunning effects make these lights a fantastic addition to any gaming setup, giving their universal appeal and creating that futuristic vibe. This is Govee's Starlight Projector. But have they listened to the feedback from their first Galaxy projector? Let's find out. So I've reviewed and created countless videos exploring the world of Galaxy star projectors. These projectors provide an elevated ambience and captivating atmosphere, all with a relatively low cost and simple out-of-the-box setup. In this video, we'll be diving into Govee's new star projector, highlighting its mesmerizing and versatile scene modes while breaking down all of its features and functions. We'll also compare it to the previous Govee Galaxy Light Projector Pro to see how it stacks up. Welcome everybody to the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. As always, deal links and chapter time codes are listed in the description below. Please consider using these links as they do help support the channel at no extra cost to you. Boom! And here it is now, the new Govee Starlight Projector. Pretty nice little box design. some images of what's to come. All right, let's open this bad boy up. Instruction cards. This is how it's packaged up here. Some foam protection. All right, check this thing out. Peel off that front tape. Oh yeah, there we go. So it comes just simply with a USB cable bundled with the projector. Segovia has created a rather sleek signature design here. It has this gimbal-like stand allowing you to rotate the main projection head, aim it in any which way you want to go. It seems rather compact and practical. A USB port at the back for power. Right here, which means this will work with a USB battery for portability or permanently with a wall adapter. We have the front Govee logo. So let's go through the top button controls if you did want to control this thing without using the app. So of course we have on-off button. You can cycle through scenes or color mode. Next we have a plus and minus button. Long press these and hold them to change the brightness of your scene, or if you short press them, they'll act as a volume control. We have the ambient white noise mode, which will cycle through the various ambient white noise tracks. The last button is a stop start for that ambient white noise mode. The top bulb here is what's going to be making your LED aurora projection, and the bottom is where your laser projection comes from. The projector features a green laser for its stars, paired with this silky, flowing LED aurora, created by what Govee's calling a dual lamp bead design from RGBW LEDs. This creates virtually any color on the spectrum. The projector is quoted to cover a 650 square foot ceiling projection, which is quite large. For the laser stars control, we have 3 sliders, giving us the option to control the brightness, the twinkle amount, or the orbit, aka rotation amount. For the LED aurora lighting, on the other hand, we have a lot more customization, starting with the ability to create a color scheme of 1 to 8 different color selections. From our set color scheme, we can then set a blending or change mode, either gradient, breathe, rainbow, or twinkle. Once that is set, we can change variables of that mode like speed, flow rate, or brightness. However, given there are 52 different scene modes, which are essentially just different presets of the main controls, in true Govee fashion, they always make it quick and easy to find a suiting visual effect for your mood or space by just flipping through these scene modes until you find one you like. So following in the pattern of their previous generation Galaxy projector, Govee has included a Bluetooth speaker to play its bundled 18 white noise ambient tracks. A lot of the scene modes will also activate a particular soundtrack to go along with it. Okay, we got the sound recording going to pick up the ambient sound modes. I will admit this does seem to add some extra dimension to the overall experience, and it's a nice touch if you are someone who uses white noise as a sleep aid. Of course, you can just disable the speaker or shut off the sound if you don't want to hear it. A quick mention, there are a few sleep modes, one of which can continuously dim and fade out the projector over a period of time. If you're someone who takes advantage of smart home integration or voice control, you'll find the usual integrations for Google Home or Amazon Alexa, and now also offering Matter compatibility, which is a nice touch. All right, so now that we've seen this thing and gone through it, what are my sort of thoughts on the outcome and all the tests that I've done? So unlike the first generation Govee Galaxy Projector Pro featured in a previous video, which I did have some mixed thoughts on, Govee has now ditched the discs in favor of the patterned LED aurora effect. So because of this, the projector is now a lot brighter and it doesn't require complete darkness for the effect to work. Although obviously it's still ideal to use this thing in darker conditions as a main light source. Overall, this is definitely a step in the right direction for me in terms of the LED aurora projection and a sign of good things to potentially come in future evolutions of the Govee star projector. Interestingly enough, I will say that I do think the laser stars of the previous Govee Galaxy projector are still unbeaten in terms of their defined look and unique movement. I just really like the stars on that previous model. The stars on this current model could be a bit more refined for my personal taste. So if you do have multiple laser star projectors, even if from different brands, try experimenting with using a few of these projectors together for a greater visual effect. Given I've covered so many star projectors at this point, I'm curious to know what you guys think the ultimate star projector would feature. Or if you guys think this new Govee star projector is better than the former version 1 Govee Galaxy projector. Govee is back with their curtain lights too, but is it worth updating from the first version? Is it that much different from the original? Let's find out. Just like I imagined, I've started seeing these pop up everywhere for their truly unique ability to create a mesmerizing giant light screen to display different patterns, animations, scenes, or lighting effects. Now we have the second generation of updated curtain lights with some clever new additions that I must say I'm a huge fan of. Boom! The new Curtain Lights 2 is here in my hands, but just wait, because not only can you buy it in a single set like the original, boom! Govee has now released an all-in-one triple-sized version. Not only that, it looks like they'll also sell a double-length version, single, double, and triple versions. Let's take a better look at this box, first of all. Back box design, very cool. Govee curtain lights. Box inside. Okay, so it looks like the 3 sets are separate. Uno, due, tres. It's kind of how they come bundled. Okay, we'll just take 2 sets out for now. Okay, so in here we have the power bank, master controller with a physical button, and some new mounting hardware. It looks like they've updated and improved the mounting hardware. Now, with version 2 here, you can actually connect 2 sets together physically with the cable. I don't know if you can see that, but they're just like a 3-pin LEMO adapter that plug into each other, just like that, and they got the watertight connections screwed in. Amazing. So that's a big change from the first version. It seems as if it's no longer necessary to purchase 3 single sets and then individually plug in each control box, each set, and power and pair them all together in the app. No, no, no. You can now just buy this newly optimized version. Now you only need a single outlet to power 1 control box by connecting all the sets together. Similarly, the double length version pack, I'd imagine, will be identical to the triple, just with 2 of these sets, or of course you can go ahead and buy that single set. Okay, looks like I've got some work to do in changing out my version 1 sets for these new version 2 sets. We're gonna dig in and see how they compare.
Okay, on to the install now, where for me, I am first tasked with removing the 3 sets of the original version 1 curtain lights to replace them with the the new Curtain Lights 2 set. This is the new mounting hardware, which is rather straightforward and clever. You just pop in the little light connectors to the plastic clip mounts, and you can then stick them in place as they have high quality VHB tape at the back. Alternatively, they also have little hooks on the top of them if you wanted to, say, string them upon a line of some sort, like you would a curtain. Lucky for me, it seems the new Curtain Lights 2 are similar enough to be compatible with the original mounting hardware, so as you can see, I'm opting to just use that original hardware as it's already there and I really don't see a need to replace it for the new stuff. Once the curtain lights are installed, I found these little cable management clips I picked up off Amazon, which are pretty helpful to affix the cable connections in place and out of sight. Lastly, another great addition with the new curtain lights is they now come with this bottom mounting if you want to optionally install them. These little clips will keep your lines perfectly straight and aligned by being able to connect all the bottoms together, and then once you've sort of connected all the bottoms together, you can then affix it to a back surface by using like a nail, screw, or some sort of adhesive. Unfortunately for me though, I won't be using these little clips as I'm hanging them on my window with the sliding door.
Okay, so one last thing to mention about the installation of the Curtain Lights 2, especially if you have a double or triple set. So make sure when you're installing your first set that the attached repeater box, which you run the power into, is at the start of your install chain on the edge of the curtain. Otherwise, you'll be left scratching your head, wondering why the sets aren't aligning to create one seamless screen, until the realization sets in that now you have to spend the next couple of hours taking everything down to flip it around, reinstall and re-cable manage like I had to. Anyhow, now that the curtain lights are installed properly, first thing I noticed testing these things out, the triple length is extremely responsive in the app when changing scene modes. Compared to before with the version 1, when I had 3 sets individually synced together, it was just a little bit slower than what I'm seeing with these new curtain lights, which are super fast and super responsive. With that said, the new Curtain Lights 2 now support over 200 scene modes that are compatible using the entire screen, which is definitely a huge upgrade from the original curtain lights. Govee has also upgraded the computing and memory of the Curtain Lights 2, allowing them to display GIFs up to 200 kilobytes compared to the 6 kilobytes limit on that first generation. So what this means, for example, is we can now save up to 10 different canvases in those DIY modes to scroll through or upload bigger sized GIF images, more detail, more animation, longer, stuff like that. We also see that in the gallery tab, now you'll find animated GIFs that are included, which I think includes some pretty useful presets. This includes awesome stuff like simplistic geometric patterns, which is something I've personally wanted, as well as more holiday presets and the like. Very groovy, if I must say so. The AI lighting bot is also a new and nice addition to the Curtain Lights 2, allowing you to essentially type out your ideas to generate images or patterns. So you can then take these generated images and animate them. It's really great to get creative. So let's try this out. Dancing candy canes. Of course, let's apply it. So you can take this, you can go edit, and if you want to animate it, let's say, you can go to movements, jack up the speed, hit apply. That'll sort of make it flash, or we can make it move in a particular direction. So all in all, we definitely see some pretty useful updates, primarily with the physical aspects of the Curtain Lights 2, better mounting, updated connections, and the bottom mounting strip as well. There are also many more options for deeper customization in the app and an improved user experience. It's definitely better overall than version 1, especially if you plan on getting the double or triple length versions from a setup or usability perspective. However, from a purely visual perspective, the Curtain Lights 2 are virtually identical to the first generation, so depending on what your needs are, don't feel bad if you just bought the original version and seeing these new ones come out. For those who already have the version 1 Curtain Lights, I'd say you're definitely still still in good shape since visually speaking, the lights are still the same. If you're new to the world of curtain lights, I highly recommend checking out my first video that I did on the Curtain Lights 1. It showcases some of the more fundamental features that both versions offer, like sound reactivity modes, dream view light syncing, smart home integrations, custom coloring, and more. Looking for an easy solution to all your digital storage needs? Introducing the Zima Blade. This is a small and stylish, I might add, single board computer, which at a bare minimum can provide your own cost-effective personal cloud storage system. But that's really just scratching the surface in terms of all the possibilities this thing can do for you. Welcome everybody to the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. If you've never heard of a NAS or network attached storage, or wondering, why would I need this? Here's a really quick overview. So in today's digital world, storing and accessing your personal files across your devices is more important than ever. Whether you're looking to archive or share files of any kind really, a home server or NAS might be the innovative piece of tech you need in your home. But you see, it only just starts there, as these home servers are actually just dedicated computers that can be used for a huge range of functions simultaneously. This is achieved through different loadable apps, which I'll show you later. I have with me today here the full Zima Blade 7700 NAS kit. Here is the box. You know, just from pictures, it's got a really cool cyber futuristic design to it. Ooh, okay. Included note they give you. Wow. Get a good look at this right here. Super cool, super futuristic looking. It almost reminds me of like an old school tape deck or something. Hit that play, rewind. You can see all the I/O this thing has included with it. USB-A, USB Type-C, Ethernet port, and a mini display port. On the other side of it, we have our PCI Express port if you did want to plug in another card or something. And on the side, we have our SATA inputs for our hard drives. To open this thing up, you just gently pop off the side like so. Now we're gonna unscrew these screws right here so we can pop the RAM in. Okay, so now the RAM stick is in. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, this thing is ready to go, but if you do want to use it as a NAS, we're gonna need to plug in hard drives to it, which is what the NAS kit is for. That includes this nice little hard drive bay here, power adapter, SATA cables, mini display to HDMI adapter. Hard drives just slide into the hard drive bay where you can screw them down and attach your SATA connectors. The blade just kind of sits up top. Basically, it's a self-contained unit like that. So let's put everything together and fire this thing up for the first time. Okay, so I actually picked up two 8 terabyte hard drives on Amazon for a great deal. That's gonna give me a total of 16 terabytes of space on the Zima Blade. So I'm gonna take out my old hard drives I was using to test this thing. And it's really great because you can mix and match hard drives of any size, and then in the software, you basically combine the two drives into one drive for your network attached storage. So I'm no stranger to servers. I already have one built that I have been using, repurposed from an old computer. But the thing is, it's big, it's bulky, it's heavy, it draws a lot of power, and it takes up a lot of space compared to this small package. So I personally plan to use this thing as a backup server for my files, which means I can finally get rid of all the backups I have in here. So that's the plan. Let's go and make it happen. So once you plug in your Zima Blade via Ethernet into your router or home network, you're gonna boot up your browser. You're gonna type in casaos.local. If it's your first time, it'll allow you to set up a login. Once everything is up and running, it should look a little something like this. We click our storage manager,
go ahead and give your drives a format. We're gonna go over here to merge storages. We're gonna click both of the drives, hit submit. Basically, it combines both the drives together to be used as one drive. Okay, so right away, if we go into files, we can actually start uploading files or folders through this web browser immediately. Test folder, just drag and drop, and you can see it quickly uploads. You can click it back and you can go ahead and play it. To connect to your computer as a folder, you click files, we're gonna hit share, and because we're on a Mac, we're gonna copy and paste this address. We're gonna open a new Finder window, hit go, connect to server, paste in our address, and boom, quick little trick. We're gonna take this, we're gonna drag it, and now we have a shortcut to our server in the sidebar here on a Mac. Here's some files. I'm gonna drag one over. It's gonna start copying. If you're on a Windows machine, the process is also relatively easy to connect. You're gonna open up your Window Explorer here. We're gonna hit Map Network Drive, hit reconnect that sign in, hit finish. As easy as that. Okay, so now what you can do is you can actually make a shortcut to it, just like I did on my Mac. Going to our now pinned network drive. You can see the files there that we just copied over. We can copy it to our desktop. And this is a really simple, easy way to back up your files or share between different computers. Super awesome, super simple. Really love it. Okay, so another essential must-have app that's really cool is called Plex Media Server. So if we click through to the App Store, there's gonna be an array of apps you can install. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna install this one called Plex. It runs on the computer where you keep your media. In this case, we're running it off of the ZimaBlade server itself. You're gonna point it to a folder on your server. Plex is gonna index that, and then you can now play back that file anywhere. It's really cool. Let me show you. So we're gonna call this JM ZBlade. Make sure allow me to access my media outside my home is finished. Okay, we're gonna add a library. It will automatically index different types of media. I like to use this for my home videos. I'm gonna hit other videos. I've loaded in a file to show you as an example, a future space vid. I'm gonna hit next. We're gonna browse for that media folder. So you're gonna look for the folder that you've created on your server. So in my case, it's gonna be under media. I'm gonna add that, add library, hit next. You'll see it will index the videos you've added, so you can go ahead and play them right in your browser. But the really cool thing with Plex is you can actually access this now from anywhere. So if you're on a different computer, you can literally go to plex.tv, log into your account, and you can watch your files there. If you're on a smart TV, you download the Plex app, log into your account, and now you can watch your added files there. And it's really not that complex if you break it down. Okay, so right there, being able to share your files and being able to easily serve your media remotely are two very basic functions of running a server. And the ZimaBlade specifically is an excellent choice if you're a beginner just getting into this stuff. As I've shown, it comes pre-installed with Casa OS, which is very easy to use, and you're basically up and running right out of the box as soon as you turn it on. Very quickly ready to start sharing files and installing apps on it. Not only that, but if you did want to dive deeper into this world or are a bit more advanced with building out servers and stuff, the ZimaBlade is still a great option as it is capable of doing more advanced tasks or installing more advanced apps, even custom apps through a Docker container. Okay, so let's move forward into a couple of other ways that I personally use my server that are starting to get a bit more advanced, but are still within the realm of fairly simple tasks. I will provide links to everything in the description and how to do this stuff if you want to learn more. But the next thing I use my server for, which you can absolutely use your ZimaBlade for as well, is for syncing my phone every night to the server. And what I mean by that is I use an application called PhotoSync, which is an excellent application so you can upload and back up your phone nightly to a myriad of different places, locations, or or services, including your server. Now, the way I personally do this is by backing it up with PhotoPrism. Now, PhotoPrism is another app you can install to your server, which is photo video management software that's going to index all your files and give you a way to like easily browse all your photos and videos, which is especially handy if you have thousands of photos or videos, let's say, archived throughout the years. It will actually sort them, you can tag them, and it'll read, you know, ones you favorited. So it's really, really great for that. However, if you don't want to use PhotoPrism to work with the PhotoSync app, you don't have to, as you can just upload directly into a folder using PhotoSync, such as I've shown you. So I don't pay for cloud backup for my mobile photos and videos directly when I can just store them on my home server. So the next thing I use my server for, which you absolutely can too, is an app called SyncThing. Now, SyncThing is really, really great because it allows you to keep two different folders in sync. Take a folder you have on your computer, let's say, you can have it back up or sync that folder to a different location on your server, let's say your Zimablade server or a different server, or you can keep it in sync in multiple places. And SyncThing is really great because as soon as you move a file into that folder, it's going to automatically detect that and it's going to make those changes. There's a ton of different options and ways you can set this up to keep one folder, the main folder, syncing to other folders or have them both syncing to each other. And this allows you to use your computer or your laptop as sort of like a personal cloud. Whereas instead of just using this as like a network attached storage, instead you can now sync files from your computer to have them in both locations and use your server as a backup. And the last app that I'm using, which you can too, is an app called TwinGate. In a nutshell, TwinGate gives me secure remote access to my server when I'm away from my home, when I'm away from my local network, which again allows me to then access my network attached storage or use SyncThing to use my home server as my own personal cloud. It's been working great for me so far. I highly recommend it. I'm running it currently on both of my servers, and it's really nice to be able to get into either of them when I'm away from my house, away from the studio. So those are all the ways that I'm using my server. The Zimablade is an excellent option. If you're a more advanced user, it's a great package at a great price, but it's also great if you're a beginner user because its built-in operating system that it ships with is really easy to use and really easy to set up. So not only does it give you that sort of versatility if you want to do more advanced stuff with it, but if you're a beginner, it's really, really easy to set up in a very simple way.
Today, we're diving in and comparing the newly upgraded Cosmo 4K SE with the original Cosmo Laser 4K. These are two impressive 4K lifestyle projectors from Anker's projector brand Nebula. These projectors pack some seriously incredible power aimed at delivering an incredible cinema experience either at home or on the go. I'll be taking a look at the key differences between this new SE model versus the original model. From light sources to display quality, I'll put them up against each other with real-world side-by-side tests and image comparisons to see how they truly stack up. This is the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. As always, deal links and chapter time codes are listed in the description below. So the projectors look nearly identical with a minimalist modern aesthetic. Both models are boxy yet compact with rounded corners and a matte black silvery finish that's sleek and subtle in any setting. Integrated side vents provide efficient cooling, and each has a sturdy silicone-wrapped handle for easy carrying. It sort of accomplishes feeling both rugged, portable, and premium all at the same time. With the original Cosmo 4K, you have to install the included dongle, as you see here, into the back. Whereas on the new SE model, there's no pop-out back or anything. It now seems to be built right into the unit and unremovable or unreplaceable. We also see the addition of an extra HDMI port on the SE model with HDMI 2.1 and eARC as well if you plan to use that. So these are the remotes here. They're pretty similar, the original remote and the new remote with the Cosmo 4K SE. See, this one's a little bit sleeker, button design's a little bit different. This one's a little bit more pill-shaped, a little bit smaller Negligible differences really, they're both gonna do the same thing. Okay, so the new Nebula Cosmo 4K SE brings several exciting upgrades. Unlike its predecessor, the SE combines LED and laser technology, offering what Nebula is calling a hybrid beam light source with a quoted 1800 ANSI lumens. This is sort of a standardized rating of brightness. The brightness rating, however, comes in a bit lower than the original model, which has a brighter output rating of 2200 ANSI lumens. The SE also features some upgraded image processing, supporting Dolby Vision now, along with HDR10 that the original one supported. The SE also now runs on Google TV as opposed to Android TV, allowing direct streaming in 4K from Netflix and other app providers without needing an additional device. Lastly, we also see Nebula has upgraded their intelligent environment adaptation tools, there's a mouthful, which are essentially features that help you automatically optimize your projected image. So these are things like auto screen fit, focus, keystone, and wall color adaptation, which is a new thing, which I guess sort of compensates for the wall color if you're pointing it at something that's not a white screen. Alrighty, so now that we've laid out the key differences of both these projectors, let's move on to actually testing how the real-world image results of these projectors compare with each other in the controlled environment of my studio here. The camera exposure settings will remain locked to showcase the differences in picture. As well, we're gonna set those picture profiles to be the same on each projector, maximizing their brightness and output. Let's dive in.
Alrighty, so we're gonna start with the white screen projection. The camera has been manually white balanced to this white screen for each projector to give us an even color comparison. In terms of sheer brightness output, they do appear to look quite similar. However, from the technical chart, which is called a waveform monitor, we can see the original Cosmos is a bit brighter and outputting a bit more light, as that top arch reaches just a little bit higher on that chart, and perhaps with just a slightly more even distribution of this projected light. Okay, so we're starting off with my favorite 4K demo video that I have. It does a great job at testing the RGB color rendering of each projector. This is just a standard 4K video file with no inbuilt HDR formatting. You'll see I've included at the top at all times the different type of video format that's being played. So starting with the reds, you can see the original Cosmos 4K is very bright and punchy. It's particularly very hot in the reds and leaning slightly into the orange tone. Whereas with the new SE model, the color has definitely improved, especially in this reds department. Taking a look at some of the green shots now, things I'd say are a lot more even when it comes to the green rendering. However, still a little bit more accurate on the SE model, a little bit more yellowish in that original laser model. All right, we're moving into the blues now. Again, not too drastic of a difference, a bit of a brighter image in the original model as expected, but the blues look great on both models. No complaints. So this is one of my favorite shots with the t-shirts. You can really get a feel for how the colors are rendered. We really see the SE pulling ahead in terms of the accuracy of those colors. The reds even tend to look a bit blown out in terms of the dynamic range available. So overall, you'll start to see a trend here, specifically when playing back regular video footage. Out of the box, the original Laser 4K is a brighter, punchier image with more contrast and saturation, whereas the new SE model with its hybrid light beam source gives us a more refined image with better color accuracy and dynamic range. Depending on the content or even the shot, one projector may look better than the other and favor that brighter, more saturated image out of the box, or having the more accurate colors when it comes to skin tones and the like. Moving forward, as we see in this example here, where again we don't have any inbuilt HDR standards in our movie's playback, we see the Laser 4K is the better image in some cases and not so much in others. Okay, so now we're moving on to comparing our next movie, which is in HDR10 format on both projectors. It seems we lose a little bit of brightness in this mode on both projectors. Although similarly to our non-HDR format, we can still see the original laser 4K pulling ahead when both sources are in this HDR10 mode, as it did in the previous mode without any HDR profile. We get that brighter, more contrasted image, whereas on the SE we're getting a slightly dimmer image with better colors. And again, like I've been saying, it just depends on the content you're watching to determine what will look the best to your eye. Again, I should state this is the out-of-the-box standard picture profile, and you can go in and tweak the color settings to kind of fix the issues a bit with the laser 4K. Although I will say I am quite impressed how the new SE does handle the colors right out of the box. Okay, so we're gonna move on now to a few different films where we're testing out the new Dolby Vision capability on the SE versus the same movie in HDR10 on the original laser 4K, since only the new SE now has that support for Dolby Vision. And man, let me tell you, this is where the story really changes and we really start to see the new SE pull ahead in every way now in terms of brightness, dynamic range, and color accuracy. Again, this is specifically only when playing Dolby Vision content versus the same content in HDR10. So I've lined up a few different movies here where this is the case, where I have it in both Dolby Vision and I have it in HDR10. Okay, coming out of this sort of higher paced action sequence, we're gonna flip now to a slower, more dimly lit, more darker sequence, where you can see how the colors are rendered a lot differently. Now again, this could come down to personal taste, but I do tend to find if you can get a movie in Dolby Vision and play it back on the SE, you will get quite a nice result from it. To really exemplify this, for my last movie example, we're taking a look at one of my new personal favorites, which is an animated film. Because all the graphics are film-like CGI, this really provides a great opportunity to showcase the differences between the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 mode on each projector. We can see for sure the story has flipped as the SE greatly pulls ahead to be the best of both worlds now, having that brighter, more vivid, more saturated image, but also with that improved color accuracy coming from that new hybrid beam technology. I was quite surprised by this result personally, how much better it did with that Dolby Vision content versus the HDR content. It really popped off the screen when I was watching it in person. However, do note this was the only scenario where there was objectively a clear winner. You'll see now as we go back to the same video formats on each projector by hopping over to YouTube and finding some true 4K 60 HDR content, playing back the same video on each projector. The results are the same as we saw before. A brighter, more contrasty, vivid overall image from the original laser 4K on the right, and on the left from the Cosmos 4K SE, we see a more refined image with better color accuracy and better dynamic range in the highlights to shadows at the expense of being a slightly less bright image. Given the fact I will probably be using the projector, personally I do much prefer the image on the new Nebula Cosmos 4K SE. I think that dynamic range is really a nice selling point, and that color accuracy has really been dialed in. This doesn't mean, however, it's going to be the best choice for you. But let's jump over now to my final thoughts and opinions to make sense of all the results that we've just seen. They're both great machines that share a lot of their foundational features. Great sounding built-in speakers, portability, durability, similar weight and size, throw ratio with a large 60 to 200 inch projection screen size. Starting with the original Laser 4K, this is still the brighter projector, albeit not by too much. Out of the box, playing regular 4K content, this will give a more vivid, contrasty image that will appear to just pop right off the screen. On the other hand, the new SE model, featuring that hybrid light source from both an LED and a laser, gives us more accurate color rendering and better dynamic range, That is more detail in the shadows and highlights versus the original Laser 4K, but this is at the expense of a bit less light output. On top of everything else, the SE has updated more of the auto IEA features, switched over to Google TV, and updated the remote with light up buttons. It's worth mentioning Nebula is running a huge promo for Black Friday, so check out those deal links in the description below. So which is the one you should buy? Well, if you plan to view in the daytime or simply want the brightest projector, the original Cosmos Laser 4K may just have that edge you're looking for. Otherwise, for almost everything else, I think Nebula has done a great job with the new SE version, addressing any of those issues with that original Laser 4K version, making it a clear winner and certainly a top contender in its category of 4K lifestyle projectors, which I've covered quite a few now.
Looking to add some magic to your space or create a giant pixel display? Look no further than these awesome square tiles from Twinkly Lights. When it comes to lighting, this really is one of those truly epic centerpieces that I've added into my setup. These square pixel tiles can be customized into any shape or size, adding a unique sense of emotion to any room through their vibrant gradients, mesmerizing patterns, and lighting effects. Twinkly squares allow you to display a range of designs, animations, images, or text, instantly enhancing the mood and ambience of your setup. As always, deal links and chapter time codes are in the description below. This is the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. Boom! And here it is now. Check out that box design. There we go, Twinkly. All the accessories are inside these boxes and all your panels right here. You also have the extension panels you can buy, which come in packs of 3. So I was able to get my hands on quite a few of these kits here to build out the installations that you now see in the background of the studio here. We kind of got that like psychedelic lava thing going on. Here I have it cycling through a few different scene modes. The panels come in kits of 6 squares, which include 1 master control tile where the power feeds in and 5 extension tiles. So in the starter kit, you'll find the squares, the cables, the connectors, and the power brick. The cables are just the right length for clean cable management, as you'll see in just a moment. The connectors come in 4 and 2 prong sizes, allowing you to mount all the tiles together as one piece. So you can power up to 16 tiles on each master tile in your array. If you wanted to go bigger, you can indeed group different sets of tiles to create a larger installation through the app, but more on that later. So first things first, you're gonna wanna power on your master tile and connect it to the app to ensure everything's working. Then you'll wanna lay out all your extension tiles into the shape you plan to build. Some common configurations are 3x3, 4x4, or 5x3, but you can, of course, configure it however you'd like. So once you've sort of laid out all the tiles in a way that you plan to assemble your display, you can go ahead and connect each panel in the array one by one using those perfectly sized cables. So as you go, you're gonna wanna make sure each one lights up one by one. This way, if there's an issue in the array, you'll know exactly where to troubleshoot and can easily disconnect the cables. Be mindful and accurate when connecting those cables. This actually happened to me where I bent one of the pins by like sloppily trying to seat it in there, but I was able to bend it back and sort of fix the issue. So just be careful when you're doing this and make sure everything is going in and lighting up as you're assembling. Once everything is connected and lighting up, go ahead and attach the tiles into a single unit using those 2 and 4 prong connectors. The connectors snap into place in a satisfying way to create a solid piece. They can be tricky to remove, however, once attached, so I recommend doing this as the last step. Once you're done, you should be able to lift the squares as one solidified canvas to now be mounted on the wall. All right, so let's now move on to the mounting process. Overall, the physical design of the squares is well thought out. They're built to be durable and easy to assemble. So my only real complaint here is with the wall mounting. The squares don't come with any mounting hardware. Instead, they're mounted kind of like picture frames, so you'll need to use your own screws or nails to hang your assembled piece. So for most people with a smaller display of like 6 to 12 tiles, this really isn't a huge issue. Just measure the distance between the two top back mounting holes and install 2 nails or screws in your wall to hang it. You can even try using double-sided adhesive on each tile to secure your display. I see mounting becoming more of an issue if you want to build out a large display, say with 30 plus tiles, multiple master tiles, and several power runs. In this case, you'll probably need a bit of technical skill and possibly a second set of hands to manage the weight, size, and accuracy needed for mounting. To improve on this, I think Twinkly could widen those back mounting holes to be more like a mounting line rather than a single point. This would allow for a much easier installation and give more margin for error or flexibility when measuring and drilling. All right, so you have your tiles now installed and you've hung them on the wall. It's time for the fun part. So the first thing, you're gonna use the app to map the tiles in the proper configuration by following the on-screen instructions. Pointing your phone at the tiles will they display sort of like these unique QR code patterns. This feature works really well and makes the setup super easy. And you don't need to worry about the tile orientation when you're putting it together. So with that mapping, we should also mention the grouping function now. Twinkly offers several grouping and syncing options to create larger lighting installations in unique ways with multiple products. One grouping mode allows you to combine different square sets to build out an impressively large display, giving you more total pixels, which translates to more details in your scenes and animations.
Okay, so basically what we have here is 2 5x3 sets of Twinkly squares. You can see these are the controller tiles. We have a left and a right. So it's 3 rows of 5 and 3 rows of 5. And as you saw previously, they are all connected and conjoined into one at the back. So this allows you to basically build out huge installations if you wanted and pair it all together in the app to display the animations.
So this is how I achieved sort of my giant seamless pixel canvas for my main desk squares display behind my monitors. The tiles come with a variety of preset scene modes and effects, including some iconic paintings in pixel art form. You can customize some scenes by adjusting things like color, animation speed, angle, thickness, zoom, and more. This makes tailoring scene modes to match the vibe of your space or desk setup a breeze. The Twinkly app also has an Explore tab, which is sort of like an online library of additional scene modes you can download. Highly advise you to check that out and see all the different scene modes they offer. Beyond that, you can also finger sketch, type out text, or upload your own GIF images to save as a scene mode. All right, let's talk about playlists now. I love that you can set up a playlist, a looping playlist of your favorite scene modes, and even choose how long each scene runs for. You think this would be a standard for all smart home lighting devices, but you'd be surprised how often it's overlooked. Thankfully, Twinkly has done a great job at implementing it here. Lastly, the panels integrate with a variety of smart home ecosystems, including Google Home, Alexa, and Apple HomeKit. This allows for further voice control and automations.
Computer, set desk squares to red. Computer, set desk squares to aqua. Computer, set desk squares to white. Computer, turn off desk squares. And there you have it.
One more thing to mention just before I was about to launch this video, Twinkly is adding in a new feature, and depending on when this video releases, it may already be out. They're adding an integration with the Giphy image database. You know all those dancing memes you can search for and send to people in your favorite messaging apps? You can now adapt them to your Twinkly squares. Select your squares, select this at the top right corner, the FX wizard, and you'll see now you can search on Giphy. So this is a huge GIF image database, basically anything you want. Let's see here. Let's try this dancing cat out. You can save that effect. Now it should be in our library of effects here at the bottom. Dancing cat, boom, and we can apply it. And there you go, just like that, it's added. But I encourage you to check this out. There's so much stuff in this database. So it's a really, really cool thing that they've added in this integration.
All right, so here are my final thoughts and personal opinions. Overall, Twinkly has developed a fantastic product that I've been curious about and have wanted to add to my setup for quite a while. The effects and patterns are super fun for showing off the display's capabilities or adding a bit of flair, while the subtle color gradient scenes, on the other hand, can offer a more relaxed vibe and definitely will become a permanent fixture for background ambience in my setup. They certainly add a dreamy effect to a space with this large, soft lighting and vibrant pops of color. So in terms of feature requests or things I think they could improve, I think the most obvious would be a simple way to save and recall different playlists. I'd love to create playlists for different moods or holidays instead of always having to go in and rebuild them. Along with that, I'd love to see support for custom scene modes or playlists within the smart home integrations so I can automate or voice command more than just basic color modes with my Amazon Alexa. As for more advanced features, it would be amazing to have a customizable sort of control panel scene mode to display social media stats like my YouTube subscriber count, stock prices, or stylish date and time displays. Similar to what the Davoom Pixu 64 or Yeelight Cubes offer, which are both products I've previously featured on the channel. Since Twinkly Squares is in essence a Wi-Fi connected pixel display wall, I feel this opens the door to live data displays or visualizations. It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what further features could be integrated. I'm hoping these ideas and feedback will reach the Twinkly developers as some of these features seem feasible through future software updates. Who knows, maybe we can have it all with these in the future. Overall, my opinion is that the Twinkly Squares do succeed in delivering stellar ambience and visuals, even if the functionality could use a bit of optimization for efficiency. Deal links for the Twinkly Squares and all my other lighting decor you see in the studio are listed in the description below. This is the newest, most premium version of a gadget that's been evolved from one of the most viral internet sensations in recent years. But before I reveal to you this mesmerizing piece of tech, let's rewind just a bit. You might remember my previous videos I've done on the Loop Lasso, a toy that quite literally broke the internet with over 250 million views. They became the #1 toy on TikTok, sold out at Target stores across the country, and topped Amazon's new release charts. So what happens when you take something that's already incredible and reimagine it completely? Let's find out. This is the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. Boom! We have here today the new Loop Lasso Pro. So the Loop Labs brand have taken everything people have loved about the original models and elevated it to an entirely new level. Look at that. Look at that holographic box. Crazy box design. Features on the side. Little explanation on the back. Well, I really love the look of this box. Let's crack it open here. It's got this little fabric pull tab. Premium feeling unboxing here. Look at these cool stickers. Loop Labs. Wow, this thing's got some good weight to it with now an aluminum body. Feels super, super premium in my hand. We got the Core UV string pack, got the special UV string pack, cable and adapter. Inside it has magnetics so the cover pops on and off. The cover's also translucent, so it sort of lights up with the whole unit here together. This is the battery indicator right here. This is the button to kind of turn on the lights. And on the other side, we have that USB-C charging port. Whoa, got all these funky lights on it. Open up this, pop it in there. Everything just feels so premium about this model here. It just goes. So the Pro model now comes with 5 ultra glow strings. You get 3 solid colors, pink, blue, and yellow, plus 2 special effects strings. The rainbow string creates this incredible RGB color changing effect that looks pretty insane on camera. And then there's that photon string. So this thing is wild. It's 15% UV reactive yellow and 85% black, creating this sort of lightning strobe effect in low light. They've also doubled the battery life with a 2500 milliamp battery, complete with USB fast charging now, which gives you double the playtime of their base model and charging in a fraction of the time. This isn't just another iteration. They claim it to be the most advanced premium version they've ever created. It's absolutely mesmerizing how the string just floats as if in zero gravity, responding to the smallest gestures, almost like you're painting with light in mid-air. Loop Lasso has completely rebuilt this thing from the ground up. The body is pure aluminum. It's actually a little bit cold to the touch. It feels like something from a really high-end tech store. But it's what they did with the lights that's genius. They've packed it with this feature called Dynamic Night Mode. See how the whole thing glows and sort of shifts colors? It's like having a portable aurora in your hands. You've also got these dual UV black lights that are now 3 times stronger than the previous models, with 2 color changing lights on the head. A light on the handle intentionally built with a clear cover, and the wheels that actually change color with whatever string you're using. With the rainbow string, for example, the whole thing becomes part of the light show. It's pretty mind-blowing. I keep finding myself just zoning out with this thing. It's almost meditative in a way, watching these patterns float in space, creating these impossible light trails. Whether you're into flow arts, love going to music festivals, or just want something genuinely unique and fun to play with, the Loop Lasso Pro is for you. It's like the string becomes an extension of your hand and creating these light patterns in the air. Super trippy. What I really like about the Pro is just a really well-made device that takes what we loved about previous Loop Lassos and makes them better in pretty much every way. From the packaging to the precision controls, you can tell they really thought about the user experience. Now I know what some of you are thinking, this premium model looks awesome, but if you're not ready to go all in on the Pro model just yet, they have the Nano model also recently released. I've had the pleasure of testing out the Nano as well, and it's still an incredible choice. While you won't get the aluminum body or all these enhanced lighting features that the Pro has, you're still gonna get that core Loop Lasso experience that made everyone fall in love with these in the first place. Of course, if you are looking for the ultimate experience and you want the best of the best, the Pro is absolutely worth the upgrade. It's not just about that premium build or the enhanced features, it's about having a device that can do more as you discover new tricks and effects. If you're curious about checking out the Loop Lasso Pro or want to purchase one or maybe many, maybe you're thinking of giving gifts or having a party, want to get a bunch of these things, have a glow party, please do so using those deal links in the description below, and be sure to use the coupon code FUTURE, as this will not only ensure you're getting the best deal, but it will also go a long way to help support the channel where we explore the world of products for imagination.
One last thing to mention, if you're looking to build out the perfect atmosphere to complement your Loop Lasso Pro, I've also added in links in the description to pick up some UV light panels, which I've also used while shooting this video. As you can see, they really help to enhance the overall experience along with the built-in UV lights in the Loop Lasso itself. As well, if you're doing so, you can even take it a step further by grabbing some UV glow shirts from Into the AM. They're a company that started out making these awesome graphic tees that glow under UV lights and have now evolved into producing high quality men's apparel, including the jacket I was wearing in this video.
In this video, I'm sharing my top 5 favorite lighting pieces I've used to create a sense of mood, ambience, and overall aesthetic. After years of curating, testing, and using different lighting pieces, I've narrowed it down to my current top 5. So whether you're a lighting enthusiast, designer, or someone who simply enjoys innovative interiors that evoke a sense of mood and excitement, welcome to the Future Space Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination. Alrighty, so before we dive in, just a quick note. I should mention these products aren't ranked in any particular order. It'd be way too tough to rank them objectively, so I'm simply sharing my top 5 picks at the moment. Let's kick things off with my light bar lamps. I've owned quite a few of these light bar style lamps and even featured some on the channel before. They have this sleek, futuristic vibe, projecting a single lightsaber style beam of light. I own various brands myself, starting with my professional grade light bars, the Amaran T4C. These are 4-foot light tubes, perfect for filming in professional environments thanks to their durability, color accuracy, mounting options, and impressive brightness. For most people though, who don't need those specific pro level features, I'd recommend Govee's light bar lamps. Like all Govee products, they're well built, deliver plenty of light, and come in at a more consumer friendly price point. Plus they offer a practical feature set, tons of scene modes, and smart integrations. Alternatively, if you're looking for an even further cost-effective option, I also covered a DIY budget version of light bar lamps a while back. While they're more limited in brightness, output, and build quality, they're still a solid choice for anyone on a super tight budget. All right, so moving on to product number 2 now. These are a newer addition to my space, a customizable giant LED light wall formed with square panels from the brand Twinkly. They're a competitor to Govee, also known for exciting lighting products. If you haven't seen my recent video about the Twinkly squares, you can check it out and dive deeper into learning more about them. The true magic of the Twinkly squares lie in how they combine vibrant lighting effects with flexibility, sleek design, and smart technology. The square panels can be arranged in a variety of ways, allowing you to create custom shapes or designs to fit your space. Each square contains 64 app-controlled LEDs that, when combined, create a unified display of vibrant, high-quality colors and animations. You can create stunning visuals from pixel art to GIFs to ambient lighting gradients, all controlled via the Twinkly app. The system mapping feature ensures effortless setup and customization, and the panels integrate seamlessly with voice assistants like Alexa, Google, or Apple HomeKit. Additionally, they can sync with music, computer displays, or gaming systems like Razer's Chroma RGB for dynamic immersive experiences. Moving on to my third favorite pick for the video, my giant customized neon signs. They're truly a centerpiece in my space that also provide a great backdrop for my videos. The custom design paired with various scene modes and lighting effects creates an awesome aesthetic. I highly would recommend getting a custom piece done. I actually have 2 now, both created by the brand Neon Will. I can personally vouch for them as a fantastic place to get a custom neon sign designed. They offer so many options and design styles to choose from. In fact, I've even done a fully featured neon sign buyer's guide video, which covers everything you need to know about buying a custom neon sign, from the different types, glass versus LEDs, to mounting, features, and more. All videos and products will absolutely be linked in the description below if you'd like to check it out. All right, so my fourth pick has to be the Govee Glide Hexagon Ultras. I've had these for a little while now and have no intention of taking them down anytime soon. From day one, they've been one of my favorite wall lights to date. They have this ultra sleek look with a pro-like finish that almost makes you think like Apple could have designed them. What makes these panels truly stand out is how they combine advanced 3D design with customizable lighting effects, making them a unique addition to any space. Unlike typical flat panels, the multifaceted structure enhances depth, creating even more dynamic lighting patterns. You can design your own pattern and choose from over 60 pre-configured scenes. Plus, the panels sync seamlessly with other Govee products and smart home integrations for an immersive experience. Whether you're using them for gaming, mood lighting, or as a statement art piece, these panels offer endless possibilities in both function and aesthetic. Okay, moving on to my last pick, but certainly not the least, is one I've featured in a couple videos now, and one I still consider my most cherished and exciting pieces. From the moment I saw them light up, they immediately evoked the feelings and emotions I aim to create in building out the Futuristic Collective. Whoa! Whoa! This is probably the trippiest thing I've ever seen. Holy bananas. This is very exciting for anybody who's really into light. Like, from every angle, the thing is just an absolute beast. I'm talking about the hypercubes from the Hyperspace Lighting Company. These cubes have a mesmerizing visual appeal, creating the illusion of infinite dimensions of light and space inside of them. Packed with a vast array of patterns and scene modes, they offer precise control over lighting effects, colors, and transitions. You can even sync them with music for an interactive experience, and the app, of course, lets you fine-tune things and adjust brightness, speed, and even set timers. With its versatile features and unique look, the Hypercube is perfect for mood lighting or as an immersive art piece in your space. All right, that just about wraps us up. Let me know in the comments below what other top 5 or even top 10 lists you'd like to see, or what kind of content you want to see moving forward with the channel. All products, as mentioned, as well as almost anything else you'll see in my videos or my space, are always going to be listed in the description down below with those current deal links. This is the Futuristic Collective, where we explore the world of products for imagination.